Well, good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great Thursday. It's Thursday, right? I think so. The week is just flying by, it seems. And John is here. It's nice to see you. And man, so we got some stuff to talk about, guys. So I think this is going to be a fun live stream, and we're going to have a good time. And for some reason, I seem really bright. I don't know what that's about, but anyway, who cares? We're just going to rock and roll. And remember, if you're here, let me know you're here. John, nice to see you, man. I'm glad you made it. And so we are going to be talking about crypto and what's going on today. And actually what's been going on this week, as a matter of fact. And I want to cover a few things. I want to cover, especially when it comes to like regulation and the SEC in Washington. So Jerome Powell... well, let me back up. Let me back up a little bit. I'm going to come to that. All right. Maybe it's just me. Maybe for some reason, I don't know, I just feel brighter. But anyway, man, who cares? Whatever. I'm glad. Hey, all right, man. James, nice to see you, man. And welcome. You guys are here. Yes. So Bitcoin still over 30,000 today. That's awesome. I know it's been fighting to stay there, but it's there now. We've seen a little bit of a pullback in the markets, a little bit. We're still in the green, not as much, but we're still there. You know, ADA and HBAR, pretty much everything else. So this is good stuff. Now, again, there's a lot of stuff going on this week. And by the way, if you have Gala, hold on, because I'm going to be doing a Gala video tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled about that. But so this week, we actually had a couple of things come out. And Jerome Powell, we all know Jerome, he's the head of the Fed. He comes out every couple of months with the great news that he's raising interest rates, or in this case, you know, not raising interest rates. But he did say that they're going to probably have to raise interest rates at least 2 more times this year. So that should come as no surprise. You know, that's what the Fed does right now. I don't know why they just don't just tear the Band-Aid off and just, you know, do like 50 basis points. Quit nickel and diming us. Just get it done. Get this thing over with. Do what they got to do. Get their interest rate hikes done so we can kind of move forward. But anyway, so Jerome Powell, there's actually been a lot of things going on again with Congress and also with the SEC. And Congress is really, I think, getting sick of the tactics that are being deployed by the SEC, specifically Mr. Gensler and also his counsel. And also, we heard from Jerome Powell, and I alluded to that a couple of times, so I'm going to get into it. He was asked point blank this week, do you think CBDCs are something, does the Fed support CBDCs? Which is central bank digital currency. Now, as we know, CBDCs will infringe on the privacy rights of whoever has them. Because, again, the federal government would know exactly like what you're buying, how much you're buying, when you're buying, and if they don't really like what you're buying, they can cut you off. So there's a lot of big problems with, in my view anyway, and again, this is just my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is just as a retail investor, as an American citizen. I don't want freaking CBDCs. I do not want them. I think they really infringe on a lot of different things, and I just don't support them. Now, you're probably going to hear my dog scratching in a second because he wants to go out. So I'm going to go ahead. Hang on for a second. Here. Come here. You want to go out? Dude. And now he wants to stay in. Well, make up your mind already. Either lay down, leave, do whatever you're going to do, man. Anyway. What are you doing over there? He's just looking at me. And he's all crazy. Anyway. So, Jerome Powell was asked point blank, does the Fed support CBDCs? And he was like, which really surprised me, he was like, absolutely not. He was not wishy-washy about his thought process. And so I just Now, that could either come back and bite him in the butt, or it could be a good thing. But he was very emphatic about, no, the Fed does not believe in CBDCs for the fact of having that kind of centralized control. And so that was something that I think I'm taking it as a positive. And we have... I don't want... Okay. Hey, man. Daddy, thanks for showing up, man. I'm glad you're here. Pleasure to be here. And so that's actually a pretty good question, and I want to address it. And thank you for commenting. I really like when people also have a different point of view or a different perspective, because then it makes us open up our mind, gives us another idea. So, and I'm only gonna speak for myself. I'm only gonna speak for myself. With CBDCs, they are controlled by the federal government, a centralized federal institution. We know already that tracks user information and everything else, and that's something that I really don't, for me anyway, want to have any part of. I don't want to have the ability. It's like hot and cold water. Someone can always come over and shut the tap water off. With cryptocurrencies themselves, and especially the more decentralized they are, that can't happen. You buy the token or you get involved in a project, and that's kind of where it is. What happens is on you. With centralized digital central bank digital currency, it's actually something that is controlled by the government. Or whoever, Fed, SEC, who knows? We don't even know. That's why I'm against it. And I will be against it all day long. I don't care who does it. I don't want to have anyone else. It's bad enough we have to put our money in a centralized bank where we're earning no interest, where once we put that money into that bank, it ceases to become ours. And so that's kind of my issue with it. I think it's a far cry from... Ripple is a payment processing company, right? The XRP is what runs that. So other cryptos, they're not as central. Again, the whole idea with crypto in the first place is to, be in a position where you're not, you're DeFi, you're in a decentralized landscape, a decentralized finance landscape, as opposed to having someone dictate what kind of CBDCs I get you. If I don't like it, hey, if you go into a gun shop or you go into a liquor store, wait a minute, you can't buy that, and they shut that off. They would have the power to do that, my friends. So that's why, in a long-winded response, I myself am against CBDCs. And it wouldn't even matter. It could be like a cryptocurrency anywhere. I don't want anyone controlling my life, period. Let alone like my ability to buy or not buy something. So that's my take on it. And thank you for putting that out there. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Okay, great. Yeah, and I appreciate, see, he's doing it again, guys. So hold on for 1 second. I'm just going to let my pooch out. And come here, you. You guys you're interrupting our live stream. The least you can do is say hi to everybody. So this is Bandit, and he is one of our crypto dogs. As you can see here, he's a very spoiled pooch, and he's not looking at the camera, but he's like trying to suck up. So I gotta let you go, dude. I've got these guys, my friends I'm talking to, so you gotta go. Hang on 1 second, guys. Here, out you go. Scoot, you can't be in here and doing this. Get out of here. Sheesh. All right, here we go. I'm back. Sorry about that, my friends. As I said before, when you're going live, all kinds of stuff happens. So I want to read this a little bit more. Gotcha. Well, You know what? I'm going to post this. I'm going to put this up there if you don't mind, huh, Daddy? I want to contribute to the adoption of CBDCs by investing in these. Well, I'm going to be honest with you, and this is, again, just my take. This is just my opinion. I think that, yeah, it doesn't matter what coins at this point, my friend, you invest in. The Securities and Exchange Commission, if we're talking about that, I'm just going to be point blank because I want to kind of just be communicative. What's happening with crypto is for years we were flying under the radar of the government, of the SEC, of everybody. Now, what's happened is, and especially in this last bull run, we became very exposed on the map. People making a lot of money, a lot of things were going on. And last year, we had major debacles with FTX. By the way, Gary Gensler met with I don't even want to say his name. But anyway, the owner of FTX, the founder, whoever he is, the shyster, the fraud, the con artist, anyway, and actually met with him. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But at this point, CBDCs are designed to sort of regain that power structure back. As we know here in the United States, the top 1% controls everything else. So what happens with crypto is now that gives the power back to the people. You control someone's finances, you can control them, right? If you can control someone's ability to function and to live and to provide for themselves and their families, food on the table, mortgage, gas, I go to the gas station and maybe my allotment is $50 for the week for gas. I run over $2, they shut my card off, or I'm not able to get anything. That's the power that CBDCs could have. Now, again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm also a realist, and I know that power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. We are all retail investors right here, all of us that are here right now. And so we are actually getting involved in crypto. We are actually taking control of our financial freedom. Now, right now it sucks because we're in a bear market. Things are down. Lots of crypto regulations going on, blah, 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 blah. That's going to pass. But what's happening is there's a fight now between, the haves and the we are the wannabes, okay? We want to have that same level of financial freedom that the top 1% have. And we work for it, man. Like, I'm sure, like all of us, we are busting our tail every day to make a better life for ourselves and for our families. And what's happening is that's what a central bank is. A central bank is where all the money goes. It's centrally located. When you have a central point of failure, when I only have one thing or one person or one group that dictates what happens to the majority of everyone else, I think only bad things can happen. So it doesn't matter if it's in the ISO tokens. It's any token, to be honest with you. The SEC is coming after every single crypto project. Bitcoin is exempt. Ethereum is up in the air, but everyone else, according to the SEC, is fair game. So, I hope that answered that for you. And thank you for bringing it up, by the way. I appreciate it. And if you here that are watching right now, let me know where you are, where you're from. Now, I like putting stuff up here so everyone gets a chance to see it, Hump. I hope you don't mind. So, I agree with you, okay, 100%. Do you see a world where we consumers have the option to pay for goods and services with crypto besides BTC? Oh, yeah. Yes, I do. I absolutely do. But here's what has to happen. We got to become more decentralized. we have to become a lot more decentralized, and I think crypto projects are going to start developing their cryptos around becoming sufficiently decentralized. Okay, according to Mr. Bill Hinman, former SEC chairman. So, yes, I do. I think it's going to take some time, and I think that there's other cryptos that you can purchase. I think that you will be able to do that with, besides BTC and ETH. Okay, I honestly, this may be something that may not be popular, but I am not a big fan of Ethereum, to be honest with you. I mean, yes, the majority of tokens are ERC20 tokens. Okay, so, but the way the gas fees are distributed and how that's all done, I think Polygon has a much better method. HBAR is a lot cheaper. There's going to be a lot better ways to send and receive and do transactions with crypto other than the Ethereum network. You know, Bitcoin came first, 2009. Here comes Ethereum. By the way, Charles Hoskinson, who is the head creator of ADA Cardano, which is run by IOHK, right? IOGH, something like that. Anyway, I'm talking really fast. So Cardano. So he was actually, for a little while anyway, with Vitalik creating Ethereum. And he's kind of shifted and moved on. So anyway, I can go off on tangents, but I want to stay kind of focused on your question. So do I see a world where we use more than Bitcoin? Yes, I do. I think it's going to take a while. I think we're years away from that. Now I don't know. I think like any kind of mass adoption, we're gonna be talking. I think probably 5 to 10 years. That's what I'm thinking, and we have to have all the conditions right. We got to get things settled here in the United States before we can even think about any of that stuff. So once that's situated, once there's some clear-cut regulations, I honestly think, because we can't agree, is crypto a security or is it a commodity? Again, depending on the crypto project, does it fulfill all 4 components of the Howey test? Majority of cryptos do. That's just the way it is. Is if you think about it, what are the 4 components of the Howey test? Investing money into a common enterprise. That means anyone. It's just common. Anyone can do it. It's not exclusive. With an expectation of profit. So for the majority of us, those 3 things are huge, right? Of course, we're going to invest money into something that is common, that everyone can be a part of. Of course, we invest in things to make money, not lose it. Yeah, I want to invest $1,000 so I can lose 500 of it. Of course not. So where it gets sticky, and this is the big point, is the 4th part of it is the Howey test is, okay, and now you've invested money in a common enterprise with an expectation of profit off the backs of someone that's centralized, either a founder, an owner, a board of directors, whomever. Steve Jobs, creator of Apple. You invest in Apple, or you did, right, when he was still alive with us, because you knew, hey, Steve Jobs, man, he was coming. It was his baby. He was always coming out with something innovative. And it was always excellent. Everything was, you expected a profit based off of his shoulders and off the shoulders of the people that worked with him. With crypto, that's where we get dicey, and that's where I think a lot of crypto projects, to survive, at least right now in this climate, I think we need to really figure out how can we get away from that 4th element of that Howey test. And I think that we need to have another branch, another dedicated organization, not the SEC, all right, and not the I'm just having a brain spasm. They do a lot of the commodities. So the SEC does the securities, and the other organization does. If you guys think of the initials, I'm just zoning right now. Post it. I think we need to have something that deals with digital assets. because it's a whole separate technology. All right, I'm just checking this out. Crypto's aspect besides BTC can be manipulated, controlled in the same manner as it depends. It depends on like governance practices. It depends on there's a lot of factors that I think play into that. I think if we're not careful, the possibility exists that could happen. But you definitely bring up some good concerns, man. But I think CBDCs have a way more benevolent purpose, and that's why and here in Florida, which is where I live, Governor DeSantis has basically outlawed CBDCs. I love it. Kick them to the curb. We don't need them. So I don't know if that answers your question, but bring it on. And people are from Maryland. Who else is here? Hit that like button, guys. Make sure if you haven't subscribed to our channel already, please do so. I'm going to talk Gala, but I'm going to do it in a video tomorrow. I'm going to save some stuff. I got to have you guys wanting to come back and watch my stuff, right? Come on. So anyway, so Jerome Powell came out and said he's, not into CBDCs, which I really appreciated. And for a politician to come out like this, I consider him a politician. Sorry, guys. For him to come out and basically say that decisively and publicly is a kind of a big deal. Wow, good job, man. Hitting Gala, that's great. That's diamond hands for you, my friend. Well done. Oh my goodness. So how is everyone? Where are you from, man? Want to make sure where everyone's saying hi to one another. I want to check on what's going on with crypto. And so let's see. Oh, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Wow, okay, cool. That's awesome. So let's take a look and see where Bitcoin is right now. One second, guys. Taking forever to load. Well, we're under 30,000. So that's hang on, guys, 1 second. There we go. Okay. All right. So I am from. Yes. Yep. I got a lot of activity going on my phone, guys. My apologies for that. It's just crazy. So much going on here. Okay. Yeah. So we are, and how is Gala doing? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. All right, so we are, I want to see here where we are with everything. So ADA's down. So everything's kind of coming down, going back up again. Let's see here. H bar, when I know it's okay, it's coming up. So everything's kind of dropping a little bit. That's no surprise. I'm not surprised there. So I'm thinking that, you know, as we go through and as everything happens with, especially with the hearings that are going on, and so it was really interesting. So Congress is really getting, I think, really sick of the tactics that are going on within the SEC. Their lawyer, and I forgot her name, It just escapes me right now. I mean, she has a tremendous pedigree, and she's like their head. The SEC's like top lawyer, and they were grilling her. And I guess from what I understand, at one point she was on the other side. Like, I don't know if she was in Congress, but she was on the other side where she wasn't working for the SEC, and so, but she has 150 lawyers that work under her or with her or however you want to call it. And the Congress is just really were like grilling her for basically the tactics of not like answering their questions and answering their emails. It's the same thing over and over again. And I think what's going to happen here is I can feel like the sentiment within Congress, they've had enough. Like, they're totally done. They really need to like rein in the SEC, and I think so. And because they're just going crazy right now. They're just going after everyone, and I think that they're really getting tired of all the stuff going on within the SEC. How they're coming after all these crypto projects, and Chairman Gensler. I mean, who knows what's going to happen there? But I think a lot of stuff is going to happen this summer. I do think that the XRP Ripple case, so Hump, I'm sure you've been following this, that is going to be a huge catalyst one way or the other. In my opinion, I think that if XRP, Ripple, I should say, comes out and wins their case, that's going to signal a bull run. I think that will be a huge positive catalyst. I also think that we'll have a decision probably close to the end of summer. I'm thinking probably August into September, we're going to have a decision, and we're going to know what's going on there. And who knows what's going to happen over the summer with Congress. They may start doing some investigations and start pulling in the reins on, because no one's checked them in a way that there's no real oversight for the SEC. They can just sort of do what they want, and I think that's dangerous. And we're seeing the fruits of that now, where the SEC is just kind of coming after everyone, and we're gonna see how it goes. But that's kind of where we are so far. Does anyone have any questions about anything now? I'm just having my water. Some days there's more information than others. Some days there's less. But even no matter how long we do our live streams, the main thing is that at least I'm giving you guys, I hope anyway, some value when you come onto these live streams. And I love, Hump Daddy, I love your questions, man. And I really appreciate that. So thank you so much for being here. Again, I know David's here. Thursdays can be a little bit tricky, but I know we have 7 people here. But I'm only having conversations with 3 or 4 of you. Where's everyone else? So if you're watching, where are you from? Let me know you're from. Hit that like button. Ask a question if you like. No question is, should be considered like trivial, no matter what it is. Now, if you're starting to ask me about quantum physics, I'm out. You got me. I'm out. But if you have a question about anything, please let me know. If I can't answer, maybe someone in the chat can do it, because we have definitely a wealth of knowledge sitting right here. And if you're watching this replay afterwards, make sure you're hitting Dojo Fam. Let me know that you're here. And if you have questions, this is a good time to do it. Again, tomorrow. Hey, Brian. Brian's here. All right, let's see here. So when Gala releases their blockchain, are we going to have to pay to move it from ETH or BSC? Releases their blockchain, and we're going to pay to move it from... Well, here's the deal. If you have it on, and this is just my gut telling me, Brian, that if you have it on an Ethereum network and you want to transfer it over to Gala chain, and that's what it's being called right now, guys. That's the official. Finally, they got a name for this thing. It's not Gyri or Gyri or whatever it is. It's now Gala chain. That's the official name of their layer 1. Now, because if you're going to be transferring it from the Ethereum network to the Gala chain, you're still probably, now I don't know this for sure, I'd have to look it up, that's a good question. Probably, I would think, initially have to pay some gas fees to do that. Because, it has to be validated, you have to transfer it over. I mean, I don't know specifically for sure on that, that's a good question, but if anyone else knows, maybe you guys want to answer Brian, but I have a sneaking suspicion you're going to have to pay some fees. Now, once it's on the Gala blockchain, and you keep it there, you'll be fine. But I think if you have it on any other chain, like Ethereum or whatever, I think you're probably still going to have. Now, here's the thing. So when I had my Gala on Coinbase before they delisted it, and I wanted to transfer my Gala away, they didn't take it out on gas fees. They took it out of my Gala, which really wasn't that much. It was like 7 or 8 Gala. It was very insignificant. So that might be something. So if you're going to transfer, let's say from Binance, and you want to put it onto, let's say, your Gala account, right? And you want to do it like that, then you probably will pay not that much, because if at least, again, I'm not sure how each exchange does it, but you may not pay ETH, you may just have to pay some Gala, which is all right with me, because having ETH can be a pain in the ass trying to do that. So if you're sending 50,000 Gala and you only have to pay like 100 Gala to do it, fine, no problem, piece of cake. So that's just my take on that. Yeah, okay, John's saying you still have to be paying the gas fees. It doesn't make sense that they do this whole token upgrade only to turn around and make their own blockchain. Actually, it makes a lot of sense, because there's a lot of things that they want to do, upgrades and stuff, that they really can't do. It's like if you have like your own native blockchain, you can tailor it to fit your needs, to fit what you need to have happen, to fit the functionality. So and plus there's a greater security, of course, and it's going to be upgradable. Now, what that means by upgradable, who knows? I am not a developer. I don't know code. That's not my jam. So that's something where, as time goes on, we will sort it all out. Now, the one thing I will say is that the biggest issue that we're having, and I think one of the biggest reasons that we've seen, not so much the utility of Gala or what it's capable of, but now if we're talking price, okay, that is in part due to the updated actual supply of Gala, which has always been their actual like circulating supply and everything else. That has been that for years. CoinMarketCap, and they're infamous for not being accurate with their numbers, finally upgraded the numbers that should have been in the first place. Now, you may be thinking, well, why hasn't Gala come out and outed CoinMarketCap and say this? Then you're going to create even more FUD. So if you come out and, let's say, for example, you go on CoinMarketCap and you see a circulating supply of 7 billion. The developers of the project you're involved say, no. It's actually over 21 billion. You just created major FUD for yourself. I mean, that could have been catastrophic. Okay? So they really couldn't say anything, and they were trying to exert whatever pressure they could on CoinMarketCap to upgrade their information, because CoinMarketCap is the go-to. That's where you go to check information, right? Token markets, price, all that kind of stuff, circulating supply, that's where you go. That's where a lot of these exchanges get their information from, is CoinMarketCap. So this has kind of been a thorn in Gala's side. Now that that's open, now that that's out, now we have more of an accurate accounting. Now we get, now we have the big picture. And I think when that all came out, plus we had the issue with the V2 upgrade. So those two things, the V2 upgrade, which I thought went remarkably well, considering I've seen other upgrades and they've just been a disaster. Because they had everyone had their crypto within a week and a half. Everyone who needed all 250,000 addresses had whatever tokens they had. So that to me was a good thing. And then also this modified or inaccurate supply that got upgraded. So I think those two things really brought us down. But Gala's still moving up. They're still moving forward with their games and everything else. I actually have been doing a play test with, was it Eternal Paradox? And I received 175 Gala in my inventory today. It may have already been there. I was like, wow, how cool is that? For just playing the game and trying it out. So I'm just saying. And we know that that's an Ember game and that's a mobile game. So I think they're still having it. I was on earlier today. But the one thing about some of these games, especially with Web3 games, this is so damn confusing. I really, really wish some of these platforms, and I'm talking about Gala 2, would actually have tutorials for their games, giving you an idea, not just assuming that you already, through osmosis, know what you're doing, because I don't. There's all these things that come up, and you're like, what is this for? What does this do? There's no linear approach. It's just like all over the place. That's the biggest issue I have, is I really wish a lot of these games would have tutorials for people, because if you are just a casual gamer and you go into a game and you don't know what you're doing or what everything works, what's the sense? I'll go back and play Meow Match. That's simple and easy. The more complex you make things, the more complex you make things. It makes it harder for people who are just interested in just playing something to be like, this is too much. I mean, I feel like I need to have some sort of a master's degree in something to figure this out. So that's one of my only issues with Web3 games, is that I really wish that they would actually have, some kind of tutorial for people. But I totally went off tangent. I totally went off. Sorry, guys. That happens when you come here. You never know. Let's see here. So Brian, what's Brian telling me? Brian, need to be here. Yeah, man. I mean, whatever you get, whatever's gonna work for you, my friend. Whatever you need to do. But I've got my Gala parked. I don't plan on moving it anywhere, not for a while. No, it's not. At least my opinion anyway. I mean, seriously, download, if you still can, go download like Eternal Paradox, download their test site with that game and give it a whip. Tell me what you think. Maybe it's just me. It could very well be me. I'm not a huge gamer. I like my things simple. You get me in front of Call of Duty or Modern Warfare, dude, God of War, I'm all over that. But this, it's like, my brother had this game. It's called Civilization. Some of you guys may have heard it, which is sort of like reminds me of Townstar a little bit. If you guys have ever played Civilization or Townstar, it sort of reminds me a little bit of that. At least that's just me. And that was like a game I'm like, told my brother, how can you play this thing? I mean, it's so intricate, but he really got into that. I'm not so much. So Jordan, that's a good question. So it's like, now remember something, this is just the start of these Web3 games. Now, I'm going to admit to you, a lot of Web3 games, their graphics suck. They're not like your Web2 games. You're not like your Xbox games or your PlayStation games. Those are been around for decades. with billions of dollars in these games. So like for Gala, they are just starting out. And now I'm going to tell you right now, though, if you've ever played Walking Dead Empires, that, my friend, is a really good looking game. That's all the games I've tried so far. That for me, I really like that game. I think that has tons of potential. It's open world. You know, a lot of these games are open world, and they're expanding on them even more. So that's something that's exciting. But I get what you're saying. And again, mobile games, it just, it depends on the person. I think mobile games is going to be huge, and I think they were smart to be innovative and to get involved in the mobile gaming platform and get started with that. So that's exciting. I think that's really good. But I totally understand what you're saying. I mean, dude, I have Meow Match. It's a match 3 cat game, for crying out loud. And I play that game like during it's like 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there. It's a simple game. When they create more ways to like earn stuff, man, look out. Just as long as they keep it simple. Simplicity is going to be key with mobile gaming or any games. Call of Duty. Okay, I like how you get started. They give you a mission ahead of time. This is what you got to do. You go. So that's what I'd like to see, and I think they will. I think there's a lot of games out there that are, in 5 years from now, games 5 years from now are not going to look the same as they do now. That's for sure. And that's just my opinion. And we shifted right into games, so Web3. So, and don't worry, I'm doing a Gala video tomorrow. Don't worry, guys, I got you with some updates and some cool stuff coming up. But I'm not going to talk about it now, so don't ask me because I'm not leaking anything right now. Even though I kind of did already a little bit. That's the benefit when you guys come and you watch this. Sometimes you get it, you kind of get in my head and you know where I'm thinking. So you may be like, why is he talking about this particular thing so much? Maybe because I'm getting ready to do a video about it or something else, or it's in my headspace, and I like just articulating it to you guys and get your thoughts. So it's like a think tank. That's kind of what we are, I think, anyway. So, does anyone here have any other questions? I've been kind of going off this week about crypto. I'm happy that, if you guys have cryptos and they're coming up, like I said last night, it's really good to see a green day for a change. It kind of continues that ability to create hope. So hey guys, I want you guys to have a great evening. So again, I do my live streams Sunday through Thursday. Sundays are a little bit earlier. They're about 7 o'clock. Monday through Thursday, 7:30. Keep your eyes peeled. I will be doing a video tomorrow, so make sure, if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel and make sure you're getting notified. Whenever I do live streams, hit that notify me. So whenever I do those, you can always come check out the channel. Pretty much, unless there's like an event that's coming up. Yeah, I don't stream on Fridays. Fridays and Saturdays I don't. Sunday through Thursdays, again, unless it's like a birthday or a holiday or something like that. Like we got the 4th coming up. I think the 4th is on a Tuesday. I'm not going to stream on that day, of course. And I'll let you guys know. So the biggest thing you can do is just check the community tab. Check the community tab. And that will give you any information if I'm not doing a live stream. And what I will do is I will go on later and I will post like our schedule. So that way you can go and see. It's like a community bulletin board. So that way you kind of have an idea. But normally Sundays through Thursdays are my streaming days. And a lot of stuff going on. Keep your eyes peeled. I want everyone to have a fantastic, safe weekend. Thank you guys for your support. I really appreciate you all. I enjoy coming on and having this interaction with everyone and getting your feedback. And Hum Daddy, thank you for being here. If you're still here, I'm not sure if you are. Great questions, everybody. Have a safe weekend. I will see you guys on Sunday. And here at the Crypto Dojo, crypto never sleeps. Bye, guys.